When my grandmother called me by my dead grandfather's name, I realized she was warning me about my uncle. Grandma's hand gripped my wrist with surprising strength as I leaned down to kiss her cheek at the nursing home. "William, you need to check the safe," she whispered, her clouded eyes suddenly sharp and focused. My grandfather William had been dead for 15 years, and I was named Daniel. Everyone said Grandma's dementia had gotten worse since Uncle Richard took over her finances 6 months ago. She'd forget what year it was, call my mother by her sister's name, mix up birthdays, but she'd never once called me William. My grandfather was the only person she never confused, even on her worst days. She talked about him constantly, remembered every detail of their 52 years together. So when she looked directly at me and used his name, something in my chest went cold. I tried to brush it off. "Grandma, it's Daniel, your grandson." She squeezed harder, her papery skin stretching over her knuckles. "I know exactly who you are. William, check the safe. Richard has the combination now." Her voice was clear, deliberate, nothing like her usual confused murmuring. A nurse walked in and Grandma immediately went slack, her eyes glazing over. "Oh, is it lunchtime already?" she asked in that vague, lost tone I'd grown used to. But her fingers tapped my wrist 3 times before letting go, the same signal my grandfather used to use when he wanted to talk privately. I drove to my parents' house that afternoon, my mind racing. Grandma and Grandpa had a safe in their bedroom closet for 60 years. When Grandpa died, Grandma kept it, said it held their important documents. When she moved to the nursing home, Uncle Richard insisted on taking the safe to keep everything secure. I'd never questioned it. Richard was the responsible one, the accountant, the one who handled all the family finances. My mom trusted him completely with Grandma's affairs. But Grandma's grip on my wrist kept replaying in my head, and I couldn't shake the feeling that she'd been trying to tell me something for months. That night, I called my cousin Melissa, Richard's daughter. We'd been close as kids, but drifted apart after she started working at her dad's accounting firm. "Hey, random question," I said, keeping my voice casual. "Do you know where your dad put Grandma's old safe?" The line went quiet for too long. "Why are you asking about that?" Her voice had an edge I'd never heard before. "Grandma mentioned it today. Just curious." Another pause. "Dad said there was nothing important in it, just old photos and stuff. He moved it to storage." She hung up without saying goodbye. I stared at my phone, my stomach sinking. Melissa had always been a terrible liar. The next morning, I visited Grandma again. This time, I brought my phone with the voice recorder running. "Grandma, can you tell me about the safe?" She looked at me with those sharp eyes again, the fog lifting. "Bonds," she said quietly. "Bearer bonds. Your grandfather bought them in 1985, worth almost $2 million now. Richard found them when he cleaned out my closet." Her hands trembled as she spoke. "He thinks I don't remember, thinks I'm too far gone. But I remember everything, William." She grabbed my phone and with shaking fingers, typed something into my notes app. An address, a storage unit number, and a 6-digit combination. "He changed the locks on my accounts last month. Told the bank I wasn't competent. I couldn't stop him." Her voice cracked. "He's been selling them off, one by one." I drove to the storage facility that afternoon with my heart pounding. The unit was registered under Richard's name, but Grandma's combination worked. Inside, I found the safe, already open, empty. But Richard had gotten sloppy. Next to the safe was a manila folder with transaction records from a broker in Chicago. 14 bearer bonds sold over 6 months for $1.4 million, all deposited into an account under Richard's name only. And at the bottom of the folder, a forged power of attorney document with Grandma's signature, except I recognized the handwriting. It was Richard's wife's. I photographed everything. I called my mother from the parking lot and told her to meet me at Grandma's nursing home. I called my aunt, Richard's sister, and told her the same thing. I didn't call Richard. When everyone gathered in Grandma's room an hour later, I connected my phone to the TV on her wall. Richard walked in last, his face confused. "What's going on?" I played Grandma's recording first, her clear, sharp voice filling the room. Then I showed the photos, the transaction records, the forged documents. Richard's face went gray. He tried to speak, but my mother was already on the phone with the police. Grandma sat up in her bed, watching her son realize his theft had been exposed. "I told you," she said, her voice strong. "I remember everything." Richard was arrested that evening on charges of elder abuse, fraud, and forgery. His wife was charged as an accomplice. Grandma's remaining bonds were recovered, and a court appointed a neutral guardian for her finances.